Well, good morning to you. Welcome to our daily Timothy time. Today is Tuesday, the 22nd of September 2020. Already, my name is Carl Coates from Pure Bible Study here in Trondheim, and it's my privilege to be with you this morning sharing some scripture. We're going to carry on with the Bible timeline, part 12, and today we're in Genesis chapter 1, verses 9 and 10. So let's get straight into it. Verse 9, and God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear," and it was so. Verse 10, and God called the dry land earth, and notice that's a capital E. Capital E, it's a noun. And the gathering together of the waters he called seas. Again, it's a capital S, it's a noun. And God saw that it was good. Okay, so there's verses 9 and verses 10. Verse 9, initially there's the earth covered with water. Okay, then God commands the water to be gathered into one place, and there was a block of land, dry land, that appeared. Okay, so it was a collective block of land that appeared. Okay, and then we look at verse 10, and God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. Okay, now I want to point this out. In verse 9 we learn of the first heaven. Now, what's the first heaven? If you look outside in the night sky, you're not going to see much. Okay, but tomorrow morning when you look out there, or today when you walk out, you look out into the blue skies, you see the birds flying, you see the clouds, you see a little boy or a little girl flying a kite. That's the first heaven. We've also recently just seen the second heaven is what we know as space. Out there, at night time when you see the stars and you see the moon, that's space. That's the second heaven. And then we've also seen in the scripture, as we've built up to where we are, that the third heaven is where paradise is. That's where the Shekinah glory of the Lord is. That's the north. That's where the New Jerusalem is. That's the third heaven. That's where God, the Godhead, resides. And the Apostle Paul got caught up into the third heaven, as we read in his epistles. Anyway, back to today's scripture. So it's important to have a look at the illustrations that are supplied there for you today. You can see in the drawing the first heaven. You can see the earth, which is a globe. I'll repeat that. It is a globe. If you pick up a football or a tennis ball, it's that shape. It's the circle of the earth, as it says in Isaiah. And anyway, so that's what we've established so far, and it's very important that you look at the pictures that are supplied there, the illustrations, so you can actually visualize what you're reading. That's quite important. That really helped me, and I trust it'll help you too. Now, in the oncoming days, I will be doing a teaching on the deep, where we will be getting into a lot more scripture. We'll be proof texting this whole block of Genesis chapter 1 right up to verse 18. We'll compare scripture with scripture, and there's a lot more detail, especially coming out of the book of Job. I'll say that again. The first book written in the Bible was Job. There's a lot on creation there, and we'll look at Isaiah 2 and Ezekiel, and we'll put this together in a more detailed form for you. So that's going to be exciting to have a look at that, because I'm sure so far you might have some questions in the back of your mind. So just hang in there. By the end of the week, we would have covered right up to verse 18 of Genesis chapter 1, and that'll be exciting. And then we can actually move on and get to that very first character, Adam, and we'll go from there. And that's when we're going to pick up a bit of pace and get going. Anyway, the read today, the Pauline epistles, 2 Corinthians chapters 8 through 10. And if you are reading through the Bible in a year, which I hope you try to, you got to do it at least once a year. If you're doing the through the Bible in a year, today we'll be reading Genesis 46 and 47. My time's up already. I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. Till tomorrow, Maranatha.